Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to send automated WhatsApp reminders for webinar 1 day and 1 hour advance. So I'm a personality development coach and I organize webinars for all of my clients on regular basis using WebinarKit. I want that as soon as a new registration is going to be done by any of my attendees for the webinar using WebinarKit, I want to send that attendee WhatsApp reminders on two different occasions. That is going to be a day before the event as well as an hour before the event. So they are going to be reminded of the occasion, that is the webinar, okay? And if I'm going to do this manually, it is going to take me a lot of time. So what I did was I simply created an automation using Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. So here in this automation, what is going to happen that as soon as a new registration is going to be done using WebinarKit by any of my attendees, automatically to the attendee, the WhatsApp reminder messages is going to be forwarded a day before the event as well as the hour before the event. And if you want to learn how to do this, now let me take you all to my screen.
Welcome to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to send automated WhatsApp reminders for webinars 1 day and 1 hour in advance. Considered a personality development coach who regularly hosts webinars to share valuable insights and strategies about self-improvement. The coach uses WebinarKit to manage registrations and host sessions. To maximize attendance, they automate WhatsApp reminders for registered participants. A day before the event, a reminder message is going to be forwarded with the webinar details, and on the day of webinar, another reminder is going to be forwarded an hour before it's going to start, ensuring that attendees don't miss the session. This personalized approach not only helps increase attendance but also enhances the overall participant experience, making it easy for them to access the whole webinar. And we are going to create this amazing automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the workflow name over here, I'm going to give it as Sending Automated WhatsApp Reminders for Webinars 1 day and 1 hour in advance. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? You can give a name to your workflow over here according to your requirement. Next, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click right over here. So these are the folders from which I'm going to select Automations for Webinar as a folder I want to save this workflow in, okay? After giving a name to a workflow and selecting the folder, let's click on Create in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Sending Automated WhatsApp Reminders for Webinars 1 day and 1 hour in advance, and there are two windows in front of you. One over here says Trigger, other says Action. Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process because our process depends on these two concepts. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means our action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, we're going to set up our trigger step. For that, click on this arrow. And for the trigger application, what we are going to do is we are going to select it as WebinarKit. So I'm going to select my trigger application as WebinarKit. As with the help of WebinarKit, I'm going to manage my event that I'm creating, okay? So with the help of WebinarKit, I have organized a webinar in the name of Pabbly Webinar. I want that as soon as a new registrant is going to be created in this webinar, a new registrant is going to be added, automatically Pabbly Connect should capture the response. So that is why for the trigger application, I've selected it as WebinarKit, and then for the trigger event, I'm going to select as new webinar registration. So whenever a new registration is going to be done in the webinar that we have created using WebinarKit, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. With the help of this unique webhook URL, we are going to connect WebinarKit to Pabbly Connect. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, follow the steps given here below in the help desk to connect WebinarKit and Pabbly Connect. After copying the URL, I'm going to open the webinar that I've created using WebinarKit. You can see that this is the webinar I've created using WebinarKit, and we are going to connect this to Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new registration is going to be done under this webinar, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. Okay, how are we going to connect that? Over here you can see this dashboard. Over here in this bar, you have to click on this other button right over here. As we're going to do that, if we are going to scroll down, you can see that if we're going to scroll down, I'm going to scroll down. You can see over here under webinar integrations, webhooks is provided. We're going to click on this arrow. As we're going to click on this arrow, you can see there are multiple test webhooks provided to us. Over here under registration webhook URL, we are going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us, so that whenever the registration is going to be done of any of the new attendees, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. So under webhooks, under registration webhook URL, we are going to paste the webhook URL. Okay. After pasting the webhook URL, we are going to click on this save button. As we're going to do that, you can see right over here, the webhook URL successfully pasted in this webinar that we have created using WebinarKit. Okay, so as we have done that, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check whether WebinarKit is successfully connected with Pabbly Connect or not. And how we're going to do that? By creating a new registration under the webinar using the form that we have created using WebinarKit. So I'm going to open the form that I've created. So as you can see that this is the form that I've created using WebinarKit to create the registrations of the webinar, that is Pabbly webinar. Okay, so this is the webinar and this is the form that has been connected to this webinar. Okay, so whenever a new registration is going to be done with the help of this form, automatically a registration is going to be created in this webinar, and we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the new registration done in the webinar or not. Okay, and how we're going to do that? By filling this form. So let me tell you the details of the webinar first right over here. Okay, so the webinar is conducted on 30th August 2024 for the timing as 12 p.m. Okay, so what we are now going to do is we are now going to create a new registration in this webinar using this form. Okay, so the timing is given to us right over here, that is on 30th August. You can see it is written 30th August, that is Friday at 9:30 p.m. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to do a new registration. It is asking for the first name of our registration, so it is going to be test. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as account 56. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as testaccount56@pabblytudes.com, and for the phone number, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. So this is the details of the new registrant. I'm going to click on register now to create the registration. As it is done, this means the registration has now been completed. So now I'm going to open my workflow. I'm going to scroll down, and yes, you can see right over here we have received the new response. In the response, we have received the details of our registration, country code, the country code of the mobile number, that is +91, for the phone number, dummy mobile number, first name as test, last name as account56, email as testaccount56@pabblytudes.com with all the other details. So this means that WebinarKit is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. So whenever a new webinar registration is going to be done in WebinarKit, automatically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response. So now as the registration is done, we want to send reminders to our registrant on their WhatsApp a day before and an hour before the event. Okay, as I've already told you, the event is conducted on 30th August at 12 p.m. So we're going to send reminders according to this date and time. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to set up our action step now. And for the action application, what we are going to do is we are now going to select it as delay by Pabbly. We are now going to create a delay. Okay, and why are we creating a delay? Because as now we want to send reminders to our registrant being created in our WebinarKit account on their WhatsApp, so we have to create a delay in this workflow. So an hour before and in a day before the event, the reminders are going to be forwarded to our registrant on their WhatsApp, and that is why we are going to create a delay in this workflow a day before and an hour before the event. Okay, and for the action event, I'm going to select as add delay time, because now we're going to add the delay time in this workflow, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. As I'm going to do that, it is saying how much delay do you want to put in workflow. I am going to select over here as delay until, as I'm going to delay this workflow until a specific date, and the specific date is going to be a day before, an hour before the event. Okay, over here it is asking for the delay date, it is required, and over here for the delay date we have to enter the delay date in this format, that is YYYMMDDHHMMSS. Okay, so we're going to enter the delay date in this format right over here. This is the example given to us with the time, and it should be in a UTC time zone format only, it is mentioned right over here. So we're going to have the data of this delay date now. Okay, so I'm going to first add another action step in this workflow, and for the action application over here I'm going to select it as date/time formatter by Pabbly. With the help of this date/time formatter by Pabbly, we are going to format the date and time according to our requirement. Okay, and for the action event I'm going to select as format date with time zone. Okay, and then I'm going to click on connect button right over here. As I'm going to do that, it is asking for the date, and for the date over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually enter the data of the date on which the event is organized, that is 38/08/2024 at 12 p.m. So this is the date on which the event is organized, and I want this date right over here in a different format. So we're going to check which format we are going to choose. For the date over here, what I'm going to do is, for the date over here, this is the from format. So this format is DDMMYYYYHHMMNSS. So for the from format over here, I'm going to select it as this format, that is DDMMYYYYHHMMSS. So this is the format from format. Okay, and then for the to format over here, I'm going to select the UTC time zone format. Okay, I want this format over here of this date, so I'm going to select this format. From time zone, so over here I'm going to show you the from time zone is America, New York. So what I'm going to do is, for the from time zone over here I'm going to select it as New York. So this is the from time zone, and for the to time zone over here I'm going to select it as UTC time zone format, as we want the to format to be UTC time zone. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As I'm going to do that, you're going to see over here in the result we have received the date in a UTC time zone format. And now what we are going to do is, from this date of the event with the time of the event, we are going to fetch out the data of a day before the event and an hour before the event. And how we're going to do that? For that we're going to add another action step in this workflow, and for the action application we're going to again select it as date/time formatter by Pabbly, and now for the action event we're going to select it as add/subtract time. Now we're going to add and subtract time from the result that we have received in our other previous step of date and time formatter. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, we are going to subtract the time from this date of the event, and we're going to have the data of that date that we want. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. It is asking for us to date to enter from which we are going to add or subtract the time. So for the date over here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step, so I'm going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how mapping works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field right over here, you can see there are two previous step of this workflow, that is WebinarKit new webinar registration and date/time formatter step right over here. I want over here the date. So in this result we have received the date of the event from which we are going to subtract the time. Over here from my previous response I'm going to select this data. As I've selected the data is mapped, and as I mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the data right over here in place of this map data is going to be updated. Okay, so I've entered the date right over here. Next it is asking for the expression. In the expression we have to enter the expression of which we want to either add or subtract the time from this date right over here. I want to create a delay of a day before the event, so I am going to enter the expression over here as -1 day. I want to minus a day from this date right over here, so I've written over here as -1 day as the expression. Over here in the help desk you can see that in this similar manner we have to enter the data over here. Okay, so this is -1 day. It is asking for the to format. As I've already told you, over here in the delay it is asking for the format this right over here, that is YYYYMMDDHHMMSS. So for the to format in this step we are going to select that similar format, that is right over here, that is YYYYMMDDHHMMSS. So I'm going to select the to format over here as this one. Okay, and for the from format, as we have entered the data in a UTC time zone format right over here, so what we are going to do is we are going to select over here the UTC time zone format, that is right over here. Okay, after filling in all the required details, I'm going to again click on the save and send test request button. As I'm going to do that, you can see we have received the response, and this is the response of the UTC time zone format date that we wanted. And now what we are going to do is, in this delay step, we are going to map this data right over here. Okay, so this is a day before the event. We are creating a delay of the day before the event. Okay, so this is the delay for 29/08/2024, as our event is on 30/08/2024. So this is the day right over here, and we have created this delay by mapping this data of this date right over here. Then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As you can see over here, we have received the response. In the message it says delayed until this date 29/08/2024 for the time as 16:00:00, and for the status it comes as success. That means you successfully created a delay of a day before the event. So now as the delay is created, and now as this workflow is going to run, the delay is going to be created, and in this delay time we are going to send a WhatsApp message to our registrant on their WhatsApp a day before the event. And we're going to be sending the WhatsApp message using WhatsApp Cloud API. So I'm going to select my action application over here as WhatsApp Cloud API. As with the help of WhatsApp Cloud API, I've created a message template of WhatsApp reminders. You can see right over here. And with the help of this message template, I'm going to be sending WhatsApp reminders to all of my registrants on their WhatsApp. So what I'm going to do is, for the action event, I'm going to select as send template message. Okay, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A new window is going to appear, on which click on add new connection, but if you want, you can select the existing connection as well. Okay, next it is asking for the token, phone number, ID, and the WhatsApp business account ID. As you want to connect WhatsApp Cloud API with Pabbly Connect, you need to enter all these details right over here to connect it with Pabbly Connect. And how we're going to have the access of these details? For that, click on this hyperlink learn more right over here. Okay, as we're going to do that, a new window is going to appear, under which if you're going to scroll down, it says how to set up WhatsApp Cloud API inside Pabbly Connect. If you're going to watch this tutorial, you're going to learn how to step-by-step complete WhatsApp Cloud API setup inside Pabbly Connect. So please do watch this video, and if you're going to watch this video and you're going to complete the setup, you're going to have all the details that Pabbly Connect is asking for. Over here it is asking for the token as well, and if you want to generate a permanent access token, then you have to watch this other tutorial, that is how to generate permanent token inside WhatsApp Cloud API. By watching this tutorial, you're going to learn how to step by step you can generate permanent token for WhatsApp Cloud API as well. So watch this other tutorial right over here, and scroll down and follow the steps given here below in the help desk to do that as well. Okay, so as I've already created a WhatsApp Cloud API setup, I'm going to open the setup. You can see that this is the WhatsApp Cloud API setup. In the setup, we have the token, phone number, ID, and the WhatsApp business account ID. As you can see over, it says temporary access token, and if you want to learn how to generate the permanent access token, then you have to watch that other tutorial. Okay, it is asking for the token first, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this token from here, and I'm going to paste this token right over here in my Pabbly Connect workflow. For the phone number ID, I'm going to copy this phone number ID from here, paste it right over here. For the WhatsApp business account ID, copy this ID from here and paste it right over here. Okay, and then click on this save button. As I'm going to do that, WhatsApp Cloud API is now successfully connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, it is asking for the template name. So I've created a template over here in the name of webinar reminder message template, and I want to send this template as a message to all of my participants and registrants. So what I'm going to do is, for the template over here, I'm going to select as webinar reminder message template. Okay, next it is asking for us to select the language code and the selected template ID. As soon as you're going to select the template name, the language code and the selected template ID is automatically going to appear here. Okay, next it is asking for the recipient mobile number. On which mobile number do we want to send a WhatsApp message to? So for the recipient mobile number, I'm going to map the data of the mobile number of my participant. So I'm going to map the data right over here. Okay, next it is asking for the participant's name. After that, it is asking for the body field 1, body field 2 and body field 3. So what are these? These are the variables that I've created in this template. What are variables? In front of some values and at the end of some values, you can see that in this template I have added 2 curly brackets. So these are the variables, and in place of the variables I want to enter the values according to my requirement. So you can see I've created 3 variables, 1, 2 and 3. So these are the 3 variables that I've created. It is asking for the participant's name, date of webinar and timing of the event. So for the participant's name, I'm going to map the date of the name of my participant, first name space the last name. Okay. For the date of the webinar, over here I'm going to write the date of the webinar manually, that is 30/08/2024, that is 30th August 2024, that is the date of the webinar. And for the timing of the webinar, over here I'm going to write it as it is 9:30 p.m. Over here I have created the webinar for 30th August 2024 for 12 p.m. American New York. If I'm going to convert this American New York 12 p.m. to Asia Kolkata, it is going to be 9:30 p.m. Okay, so this is the timing, that is 9:30 p.m. right over here. Okay, after filling in all the required details, it says save and send test request. We're going to click on this button, but before that, as you can see, for the recipient mobile number, I've entered the mobile number, and this mobile number that I've entered right over here is a dummy mobile number. So WhatsApp message cannot be forwarded to this number right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this number from here, and in place of this dummy mobile number, I'm going to enter my mobile number just for the example. So a WhatsApp message can be forwarded on my number. So over here I'm going to enter my mobile number. I've entered my mobile number in place of the recipient mobile number. Now I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. As I've done that, you can see we have received the response. For the message status, it says as accepted. So this means that a WhatsApp message is forwarded on my mobile number. So I'm going to open my WhatsApp and I'm going to check whether a WhatsApp reminder is forwarded on my number or not. For that, I'm going to open my WhatsApp. And yes, you can see right over here, we have received the WhatsApp message. It says, hello test account 56. We are excited to remind you about your upcoming webinar, Pabbly webinar. Date as 30/08/2024, that is 30th August, for the timing as 9:30 p.m. Make sure to join us on time and get the most out of this session. If you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to reply to this message. Looking forward to having you with us. Best regards, team Fantastic Events. So this is the message template that I've created using WhatsApp Cloud API. Has now been forwarded as a message on my WhatsApp number with the details of the webinar you can see right over here. So this means that a WhatsApp message has now been successfully forwarded. And as we have set up a delay right over here, this was just a test response that has been forwarded to check whether the WhatsApp message is going to successfully forward or not. Okay, and if you're going to run this workflow in real time, this message is not going to be forwarded just like this. It is forwarded on my number. Okay, as this just was this test that we were doing, that is why we received the message right over here. Okay, but this message is going to be forwarded only the day before the event that you have organized. Okay, so as now we have received the message successfully, now we have to send another reminder on WhatsApp that is going to be an hour before the event. So for that, we're going to create another delay in this workflow. For that, click on this plus button to create another action step, and for the action application, we're going to again select it as delay, and for the action event as add delay time, and then click on connect. It is asking for how much delay do you want to put in workflow. Select it as delay until, and it is again asking for the delay date right over here. For the delay date, we are going to add another action step to this workflow, and for the action application, what we are going to do is we are going to select it as date/time formatter by Pabbly, and for the action event, we are going to select it as add/subtract time, because now we're going to subtract the time an hour before the event. Okay, so now we're going to click on this connect button. For the date over here, I'm going to map this date that we have received in our previous step. That is going to be entered right over here. This is the date of the event with the timing as well. Now what we want is we want to subtract an hour before this date. So for the expression over here, I'm going to write it as -1 hour, because now I want to subtract an hour before this date. So that is why for the expression I've written it as -1 hour. Okay, and then for the to format, as we want the format over here, that is YYMMDD HHMMSS, So I'm going to select this format, and for the from format, as we have entered the data in a UTC time zone format, so for the from format over here, I'm going to map the data in a UTC time zone format. Okay, after filling in all the details, I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. We have received the delayed date and time right over here. This is an hour before the event. Okay, this is 38 an hour before the event. And for the delay over here, I'm going to map the data of this result that we have received, that is the hour before the event subtracted time. So I'm going to map this data of the delay, and then I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. Okay, as we have done that, over here for the message it says delayed until the date, that is 38/08/2024. For the timing as 15, this is the American New York time, which is going to be an hour before the event. Okay, the status comes over here as success. So as the delay is now successfully added, we want to send another reminder to our registrants on WhatsApp. We're going to add another step in this workflow, and as we're going to be sending WhatsApp reminders using WhatsApp Cloud API, so for the action application, I'm going to select it as WhatsApp Cloud API, and for the action event as send template message, as now we're going to send the template message of the reminders on WhatsApp to our registrants. Click on connect. As I have the existing connection, I'm going to select this option, but if you want, you can add a new connection. Click on this save button next. Okay, as we're going to do that, it's asking for the template name. I have created the same template, and I'm going to be sending the same template as a WhatsApp reminder. So what I'm going to do is, for the template name over here, I'm going to select as webinar reminder message template only. So I'm going to select the same template right over here. Okay, next it is asking for the language code and the selected template ID. As we're going to select the template name, both of these fields are going to be automatically selected. Okay, it is asking for the recipient mobile number. So over here we have to map the data of the mobile number of our customer, but we are going to do the test of this. So I'm going to enter my mobile number in place of this recipient mobile number. So I've entered the mobile number. It is asking for the body field 1, 2 and 3. These are the same variables. I'm going to map the data of the required details. This is the name of our participant. I'm going to map the data right over here. It is asking for the date of the webinar, that is going to be 38/08/2024. This is the date of the webinar, and the timing is 9:30 p.m. It is according to the Asia Kolkata time zone. That is why I've written the timing. Okay, after filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the save and send test request button. As we're going to click on the save and send test request button, it is say message status as accepted, but over here, as this is a test request, this is a test message that is going to be forwarded. In real time, we are not going to receive a response immediately, because as we have created delay in this workflow, we are going to receive the message according to the delays that we have created. Okay, so this is a test, that is why we're going to receive the message right over here now. But if this workflow is going to run in real time, it is going to send the message according to the delay that we have added. Okay, so now I'm going to open my WhatsApp, and I'm going to check whether a new WhatsApp message is received on my number or not. For that, I'm going to open my WhatsApp, and yes, you can see right over here we have received a new WhatsApp message. This is the same message with the details of the webinar is now been sent as a second reminder, and it will be sent an hour before the event that has been organized. Okay, so these are the two reminders message that has now been forwarded with the help of the workflow that we have created using Pabbly Connect. So this means that we successfully created an automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, consider a personality development coach organizing a webinar using WebinarKit. Okay, the coach wants that as soon as a new registration is going to be done in the webinar that they have created using WebinarKit, automatically to the registrant a day before and an hour before, the webinar reminder should be forwarded as a WhatsApp message. And for that, we have created this amazing automation between WebinarKit and WhatsApp with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.